Welcome to Conversations with Kay. I'm Kay Ryder. And every week I talk with Vermonters who are leaders in the fields of government, healthcare, education, the arts, and community life. My guest is Natalie Neuert, who's the director of UVM's Lane Series. And welcome to our radio listeners, 99.3 FM, WBTV-LP. Welcome, Natalie.
Thanks, Kay. Glad to be here.
Nice to have you back again. Now, where are the Lane Series concerts held? Where do you hold them?
Well, we have a wonderful recital hall in the UVM campus, known as the UVM Recital Hall, and it's on the South Campus, the Redstone campus, and it's a modern building in a very old complex of buildings. I say modern; it was actually built in the late 70s. But it's got very clean lines, and but most importantly, it's just acoustically terrific. They did it right when they did it, especially for classical music, string quartets, solo piano. It just rings, it has a beautiful sound. It's very comfortable and very intimate, 300 seats. So we're happy to have that hall and delighted to use it for almost all of our shows.
Well, speaking as a music lover who's been there a lot, I've always enjoyed concerts there. They are marvelous. There's just such a great sound.
Yeah, there really is. And there's no bad seat in the house. So really everyone has a good view. And it's filled with light, and you really feel the energy of the players in it. So yeah, we love it, and we hope people who aren't, who haven't experienced it will come out this season and hear some music. We're actually we seem to be growing our audience quite a bit, so it's nice. I think once people experience the hall, they want to come back.
Absolutely. Now you have some good things coming up on the Lane Series this season, and you brought some clips.
I did.
And you're starting out with Juan Soriano. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, Juan Soriano is a musician who plays in a style called bachata, which is from the Dominican Republic. And if we were from New York City, we would know this music. Obviously, we were from the islands, we would know this music. I think Burlington audiences maybe have had a little less experience with it, but it's sort of the major musical export of the Dominican Republic. And it's a very famous style. So it's a dance and music style, very catchy, which you'll hear in the clip. He's a guitar player and considered, a real ambassador of the form. He's actually the subject of a documentary called El Duque de Bachata, the Duke of Bachata. And so he's sort of considered royalty in the world of bachata music. It's sort of known by its catchiness. You can tell it's a dance form, and pretty intricate steel string guitar playing.
Okay.
And Juan is known for his beautiful voice.
Okay, there we go. Let's listen to this.
Okay, great.
Me miras y el universo de tus ojos me lo cuenta todo. Y me preguntas al oído si te quiero un poco. Me abrazas y tus palabras son: ¿qué pasará mañana cuando te hayas ido? ¿A quién podré contarle que te siento lejos? Mañana se dormirá el amor y guardará tus rosas para cuando brille el sol. Y yo te diré, temblando la voz, el tiempo va deprisa y ese día que soñamos vendrá. Apaga la luz, la noche están marchándose ya. Y yo te diré, temblando la voz, el tiempo va deprisa y ese día que soñamos vendrá. Apaga la luz, la noche está marchándose ya. Mira.
Ey, se fue la luz. Vamos Vamos a seguir con la marimba, muchachos. Que está ahí.
Hay una marimba ahí.
Claro, vamos a
tocar.
Vamos ya con la marimba, porque ahora que te encendía la fiesta.
Ya, claro.
Sí, ahora que está buena.
Well, barking dogs. I mean, you know, that was most exciting. But he certainly, as you said, he certainly has a gorgeous voice.
Yes, it's very silky, and the music is very catchy, don't you think? I think
yeah.
It's quite gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm often, you know, some of the I'm thrilled we have more music from our own hemisphere now. I must admit that, I mean, I love classical music, but I'm a little bit tired of the music from Europe, and I'm glad to have more music from the hemisphere.
Yeah, well, we certainly I made an effort to bring music from around the world.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah. Well, the next clip is of a group called Cantus, and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Cantus is a very famous men's choir, small men's choir. I think they're from Minneapolis, St. Paul area, where actually a lot of choirs seem to be from, interestingly. They sing a variety of music. They sing a lot of classical and early music, but they also sing more popular music and music, you know, ballads and music from the 40s and 50s. They're doing a Christmas show, a holiday show for us. And I think it will be a mixed program. So we'll hear some classical holiday music, and we'll also hear maybe some Frank Sinatra music and some popular songs that people are familiar with. So I enjoy that kind of holiday program where I hear something new and something nostalgic. I think that sort of puts you in the mood for the holiday. So this is a clip of them singing a song by Esai Barnwell, who was the founder of the group Sweet Honey in the Rock, and she's a composer in her own right, and this is an original piece of hers. I think you will be amazed at how beautiful these voices are, so we should play the clip.
Wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Yes, I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. You used to rock me in the cradle of your arms. You said you'd hold me till the pains of life were gone. You said you'd comfort me in times like these, and now I need you, and now I need you, and you are gone. So I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Since you've gone and left me, there's been so little beauty, but I know I saw it clearly through your eyes. Now the world outside is such a cold and bitter place. Here inside I have few things that will console. And when I try to hear your voice above the storms of life, then I remember that I was told. Yes, I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. Yes, I am sitting here wanting memories to teach me to see the beauty in the world through my own eyes. I think on the things that made me feel so wonderful when I was young. I think on the things that made me laugh, made me dance, made me sing. I think on the
That is beautiful and very poignant.
It is. I promise that the music for the holiday show won't be quite so sad. Yeah, they are beautiful singers, very special. We've had them several times, and they've even been in the schools. They've worked with some high school choirs in the area. They're wonderful people and beautiful programmers. They really know how to choose great music. So it was time to have them back, and I was thrilled to discover their Christmas show, and that it would just be so fitting, I think, for us.
Great. Now, if I'm correct, they're going to sing all kinds of Christmas music.
Yes, so all kinds of holiday music. There'll be not just Christmas music, I think also there'll be other songs that celebrate other traditions as well.
Some of the early music around the Christmas season is beautiful music.
It is absolutely beautiful, and we've done early music, Christmas shows, holiday shows. We love that. But I think this will be more eclectic.
Yeah, great, wonderful. Now, it's the Van Cliburn year.
It is, once again.
And you have a clip of Kenneth Robert, the silver medalist.
Yes. Ken is one of the American winners. There were 2 American winners this year, which is exciting. One is 19, I believe. Ken is 23, all of 23. You know, it's the most prestigious piano competition in the world, arguably, I suppose, like anything else. And you have to be under the age of 29, so they're always youngsters, and they seem to just be getting better and better, Kay, actually. It's quite extraordinary. Kenneth is a beautiful player, lovely guy, and we're excited to welcome him.
Great, well, listen to him.
Yeah.
I'm always interested that the Cliburn winners play solo, and they play with an orchestra, and they play, with a string group.
Yeah, so this was the quartet performance. Yeah, they put them through their paces, right? So they need to hear really chamber music as well as solo piano. And I think the judges are really influenced by how they play in those 3 different scenarios, because it's in some ways somewhat of a different skill set. The level of sensitivity and to listen to other musicians and the timing and all those things are a big part of the chamber music piece. So of course what we'll have is a solo recital, and we have all 3 finalists. So we have the bronze, the silver, and the gold finalists. So it's very exciting.
Wonderful, wonderful. Your next clip is a Trio da Cali. Where are they from?
So Trio da Cali is a group of traditional musicians from West Africa, and from Mali. Southern Mali, actually, to be specific. And they play traditional instruments. But what's really interesting about them, I think, one of the things is that they have a powerhouse vocalist. And this woman has been called the Malian Mahalia Jackson because of the power of her voice. And, often the vocal part is not central to West African music. Often what's central is the kora, which is the lute-like instrument. This band actually doesn't have a kora player. So it has a xylophone-like instrument and a bass-like instrument, and then this vocalist who also plays percussion. What's interesting, I'll just add, and you won't see this on the clip because they actually don't have a clip of all four of them playing together, but a young South African guitar player named Derek Gripper has sort of made it his life work to transpose kora music to classical guitar, six-string acoustic guitar. And he studied with all the greatest kora players. And it's quite beautiful, the way he plays. And when the members of Trio de Cali first heard Mr. Gripper play, they immediately said, we need to tour with this guy. Which is interesting because they're all traditional musicians from centuries of, from that unbroken line of musicianship, which is how it works in West Africa. And yet they heard this sort of young player not even playing the traditional instrument, and they had this very strong reaction to the beauty of his playing. So unfortunately, I don't have a clip of them together, but here's a little bit of Trio de Cali, and you'll hear this wonderful sound.
That's really pretty. You can almost dance to that too.
You can, and of course, you can hear how American jazz sort of developed out of this music, especially when you hear that xylophone-like instrument that's called the balafon, and the sort of syncopation in that playing and the rhythmic complexity, I think is very beautiful. And you do, it sometimes sounds like jazz, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, right. So Natalie, you have a wonderful season planned, and you're so fortunate to have the Van Cliburn Winners every 4 years. So how did this happen?
Well, the director who was director before me, Jane Ambrose, she was director for a long time, about over 20 years. She forged a relationship with the Van Cliburn Foundation, or the Cliburn Foundation, which is based in Van Cliburn's home area of Fort Worth. And really way back when, she had this idea that wouldn't it be great to present all three finalists. And we were one of the early presenters to do it. We've been doing it for about 24 years. It's every 4 years. They have the competition. So Jane really started that, and now it's a big thing. Of course, there are many presenters who do this, although maybe not that many that do all three finalists. And for us, it's so interesting because part of really what makes the Lane Series special is that we really feel strongly about bringing a combination of established artists who are, you can see on the Lane Series, I'm sure we'll talk about them, some of them, but we have artists like the Assad brothers, the classical guitar players who are, the top of their field, or the St. Lawrence String Quartet, the top of their field. They've been playing together for a long time. But we also feel really committed to bringing young emerging artists. So we feel that by going for these competition winners, what better way to give them a chance early on in their careers to play in a beautiful hall to an appreciative audience. It's been great for us.
Now, you're bringing artists from all over the world. You mentioned the Assad they're from Brazil.
They are.
And you have Nobuntu from Zimbabwe, but I want to talk about the summer ensemble. Tell us, our audience, a little bit about the show, which is titled Rescued Treasure.
Right. So in the 1930s in Berlin, there was a record company. It was a record label, a record company, and a music store in Berlin that was a repository of a tremendous amount of sheet music and recorded music of really what's considered the golden age of Jewish music. And this music was what we would recognize as klezmer, happy music, party music, wedding music, but also liturgical music sung in Hebrew and Aramaic, and as well as a lot of Yiddish music. That building was burnt to the ground on Kristallnacht in 1938 by the Nazis, and the entire archive was lost to the world. But a German musicologist decided to make it pretty much his life's work to find the music, because he knew that it had been sold out of this store as sheet music to families and as records. And he reconstructed it by almost going door to door throughout Europe and Jewish neighborhoods that still remained, and probably to America as well, and found copies of this music, records. And finally, enough has been amassed, and they've created a tour around this music. And they have put together an ensemble, the Semmer Ensemble. The company was called Semmer Records. So the Semmer Ensemble of pretty much some of the greatest klezmer musicians in the world. I mean, extraordinary people. Alan Byrne from the band Brave Old World, Lawrence Glamberg, who's the vocalist with the Klezmatics, Daniel Kahn, who's in a band called Painted Bird, which many people have heard of. He has another band as well. So those are the Americans, actually, although some of them are living in Germany. And then Eastern European musicians as well. So it's combined. It's an international band.
Wonderful.
And
just wonderful.
It's a chance to hear music that has been lost,
Right.
that would have been completely lost to history.
Yep.
And it's fantastic.
That's marvelous.
They're
isn't
doing
it?
something like 4 shows, and we got one of them.
That's just wonderful. Now we need to move along here
Okay,
because
sorry.
we got a lot to talk about. And you love Celtic music, and I'm talking with Natalie Neuert, who is the director of UVM's Lane Series, and we're glad to have her. We're talking about her upcoming season. You always bring Celtic music. I love Celtic music. Farah.
Oh, Farah. So I was really lucky and was invited to a music industry event in Scotland in April. There were a bunch of presenters and agents and artists there, and we saw something like, I don't know, maybe like 24 bands in 5 days. And it was a bit of a blur. I heard a lot of talent, mostly young Scottish musicians. I actually heard 3 or 4 things that I would happily have brought to the Lane Series, but the one that worked out was a group of 4 women who've been playing music together, mostly fiddle music. 4 of them are fiddle players, or 3 of them are fiddle players and one's a pianist. And they're from Orkney, the Orkney Islands in the far north
way
of
up
Scotland, way up there. Yes, they refer to it just as Orkney, sort of like Ukraine. The is not there. So these 4 women from Orkney have been playing music together their whole lives. They've gone on to conservatory degrees in violin, but have come back together to form this traditional band. So they're playing music, Scottish music, mostly from Orkney, which is a specific style, and they all sing.
Well, we'll look forward to that one.
It's selling like crazy,
We'll
by the
look
way.
forward to that one. Now, where would someone call? I know you have a website if people want to buy tickets.
Yes. So you can call us at our office anytime. 656-4455 is the Lane Series number. And our website is uvm.edu/Lane Series. Or you can just Google UVM Lane Series and it'll get you right to us. And we take tickets, orders any way you like.
Sounds good. Now, one of the most exciting evenings you have coming, I think, is Late Night with Leonard Bernstein. He didn't like to sleep.
Yes, he was an insomniac.
The 100th anniversary of his birth. This is very special. His daughter's going to be there, I believe.
Yes, his daughter narrates the show, and she brings footage from family films that were shot at the Dakota in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and it's sort of a bit of a, they call it a sort of video cabaret maybe, or a cabaret with images as well. So family photos, wonderful film from the Dakota years, and then soprano and two pianists playing the music. And we'll have everything from the jazz to the classical to the Broadway. So the whole gamut of Lenny's life.
Yeah, now the Dakota was a famous apartment building in
Yes,
New York City.
Yes, where John Lennon lived and Leonard Bernstein lived and many famous people lived. And he was famous for his parties and soirees. So we get a little taste of that.
Absolutely.
With his daughter.
Okay, Natalie, we're almost done here. What do you think of when you think of the Lane Series?
Well, I guess I think of music from all over the world. I think of chamber music, so music that's small scale. We're not an orchestra. We're not a band. We're not a. You know, what we are is small ensembles, intimacy, really getting to know the audience and communicating with the audience. We're a really personal little series. I'll hold up our poster. I'm really proud of it because it's just so much fun. This is Ciro Batista, who's a Brazilian Tropicalia style musician. And you know, you come to the show, you'll get to meet Ciro afterwards. You'll be 10 feet from Ciro on the stage. So it's really, we're about intimacy and about personal connection to music.
And beautiful music, I might add.
So. Thank you.
Beautiful music. Thank you for coming, Natalie. I hope you have a great season, and thank you for joining us on Conversations with Kay.